Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Elian, are you now or are you still down south?
Say what now?
Are you back home? Or
Okay, look at Daniel's background and look at my background. Yeah,
I got palm trees and he has sadness.
back into the armpit of the world.
Back to gray skies and snowflakes. Sorry.
yeah.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Doing all right. How are you, brother?
Oh, doing great. Hey, go tag a couple of your teammates in the chat real quick while I walk to my house. Sorry for the wildlife, all the sunshine, birds, and palm trees. I don't mean to make you all sad. Go tag your friends though, real quick. We'll get started. Hey, all I want to do today, guys, is just a Q&A. I want you guys to ask your real questions that you have. It's month end, so hopefully we got questions about like how to help your team. But what questions do you all have? How can I help you guys this morning? We'll take about 15 to 20 minutes and go through that. And I'll answer whatever you guys need help with. So whoever wants to go first, hit the little raise hand button if you can, so we're not all unmuting at the same time. That would be awesome. What up, Josh? Go ahead.
Bro, dude, we're about to do some IBAs today, and the one thing that I need help with is just like, because our team is getting so big, and Bree is just running so hard. I mean, we're all running hard, trying to do what we got to do, and make sure that like the process gets duplicated into our new people. I guess my only question is, what is the best way we can plug them into you more so that like, they can get help if Bree can't cover something, or if or if I can't cover something, God forbid, like what is the best thing that we can do for that?
Yeah, so you have to duplicate yourself. You have to duplicate the master copy. I love you all, but y'all are not the master copy, right? Like if you want to get coached, if you want to be, and don't hear me like coming at you, Josh, or anyone on your team. That's not what I'm saying here. But like, if you want to have the ability to have other people help you run appointments, you have to run the appointment the way that I teach you to run the appointment. Because think about it like this, right? Like, Bree, if you recruit somebody who then recruits somebody, right? Who then recruits somebody, you are 5 layers deep from me, at least, maybe even 6 or 7. I'm not 100% sure. A lot is my point. Like, I will help you. I have no issues helping. But if you're so like Josh is like the head of that leg, so to speak. I don't like using, not your boss, but like Josh is direct to me, right? So Josh there. Yeah. And so if you want to have, say, Elian run it, who is also direct to me, not on your team, or somebody on Elian's team run the, like, let's say you have Tammy run it. Tammy is on Elian's team, right? Like, they're going to run it theoretically the way that I would have them run it. And if you're training them a different way, you can't shop the appointment out, because then you go to train your team, they're seeing a completely different presentation. You see what I'm saying? So Josh, to answer your question, that's a great question. It's a really good problem to have, right? Like, I don't want you to, nobody hear that as a bad thing, because that's a great problem.
No.
But the further way that you get from me, the more variance you're going to start to see on the presentation. And so you running your team, whether you're 7 layers away from me and there's a million people between you and me, or you're direct to me, you have to be a freaking maniac about, hey, where'd you get that presentation? That is not the presentation you should be running, right? And not in a like, Larissa, I'm going to beat you up, like that's wrong, but just like, hey, like, we're trying to duplicate the master copy and you're over here drawn with crayons and it like does not look at all like it came out of a copy machine, right? Like, y'all, I don't know if you guys, I'll find pictures of them, but there's pictures, this just came to mind. There's pictures of like a before and after of like going through a copy machine, and like it's the picture and then the other one's like a stick drawing with crayons. Like, some like it went through a copy machine but came out as a stick, like stick figures. Like, it does not look like what it should look like. And I want to give a huge shout out to Cassie, because Cassie, we talked about this 2 months ago. And I was like, if you want me to coach you and your team, you have to run my presentation. Like, with all due respect, I love everyone else that's pouring into you, but like, whose results do you want, right? And that's literally like, and that's the question I would ask you. And so, Josh, like, to answer your question in a sentence, how do you keep people plugged into me? You duplicate me. You be me to your people. Does that make sense? Like you act like an RVP.
Absolutely.
An RVP, that's how you get to RVP. Does that make sense? Let me say that again for some of you guys that are not paying attention, because that was good. You act like an RVP before you become the RVP. That is the only way you'll ever get there. Like, you should be acting in your business right now like you are the regional vice president. You have the benefit of being in a base shop right now. I'm just telling you guys, like, when you are not in a base shop anymore, you have licensing manager fees, office manager that you pay. Like, if you want to grow, like, if you want to treat it like a business, you'll have those things. And so right now, I pay for all that crap for you. Right? So you have the benefit of being able to just run guns a-blazing, wide open, like no governor, and get as big as you possibly can. Like, your goal should be 50 by 50 on your team in the base shop, not just my base shop, like your team in the base shop, 50 by 50. Like, you'll go out, you'll leave a good replacement. You'll go out with 30 by 30, making 200 grand a year when you get that RVP promotion. Right? Like, and that's the vision. That's where you should be looking. So, Josh, hopefully that answers your question. Like,
Brother, it does. Thank you.
If you want to duplicate your business to look like mine, you need to be like in there checking all your people's presentation. Like, okay, where'd you get that? That's not Dan doesn't ask that question, right? Like, you got to ask this question, and you're not being you're spot checking, right? You're making sure that your team is doing what they need to do to duplicate, because then they're going to start duplicating people. That's where it gets crazy. Like, Bree's bringing on people that I haven't even met yet, right? And Bree has people that are recruiting people. I haven't even met the people that are recruiting people. That is a good problem. You all want that problem, right? Correct? Like, does anybody else want a problem where you don't know people in your business? That's a good thing, right? The only way that happens is that Josh duplicated what we did, Bree's duplicating what Josh is doing, and then now Bree's teaching her people to duplicate what she is doing. And it's very close to, it's not exact, but it's very close to the master copy. And so my challenge to Bree would be to tighten it up. Watch my presentation, watch the recruiting, or listen to the recruiting audio, why Primerica at the KT, like all of Ian's stuff, and dial it back into the master copy and get a little bit more tight with it. And it's gonna continue to grow, and it's gonna grow faster. So that was a long-winded answer, but what other questions you guys got?
That was kind of, sorry, just breaking everything over here.
You're good. What's up? How can I help you?
Oh, dang, I didn't raise my hand either. I apologize.
You're fired. I'm kicking you.
You kind of answered my question as well, more or less, because you gave me some of this advice about with my team and how I should reach out and the incentives and things of that sort. But if you could just kind of explain to them what we were talking about yesterday.
What do you mean?
About when I put that incentive out, and then kind of like the pushback that I had with like it being more or less like, oh, don't want to scare them with competition and
Okay, so Elian's got a bit of explosion happening on, and I throw out incentive to your people, because if you are licensed and they are not, who makes the training premium? Who gets paid? Right? So to your team, one thing that you can do is throw out a little bit of like cash incentive, kitchen tables. Like, hey, $10 if you set 2 kitchen tables, or 20. Now, don't go do it if you aren't licensed, because you're not making money on them producing. You see what I'm saying? So, like, it makes sense if you're licensed to do something like that at the end of the month, throw some KTs on there. But Elian was like he's like, hey, I'm gonna throw out a competition, and someone was like, hey, don't talk to the team. Not that. And here's the reality. I'm cutting in. Elliot, yourself. Is that better? Can you hear me? Am I cutting in and out now? Okay. I think it was both mics going on at the same time, and I'm on my phone, not my laptop. So, you have to understand that, like, so here's the reality of Primerica, right? This is just how it is. If you are not licensed, you recruit people, you get credit for them, but they are not on your team. Why? Because you can't run a team if you're not licensed, right? You don't you need to get, and I'm not like calling anybody out. So please know, I know there's unlicensed people with teams. I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just saying, like, if you're licensed and the people under you are not, and someone has a pocket of people and they're doing what they need to do, at the end of the day, every one of those, all of them are direct to you until somebody between you gets licensed. Okay. So like Josh, I'll use you for an example. Josh is not licensed yet. He's had a whole bunch of hiccups getting the license done. He's going to get that thing done as soon as they let him open the window, and he will get licensed. But right now, because Josh is not licensed, like Bree, Caleb, y'all are direct to me. Right. And like, even though Josh, as soon as you're licensed, they're all going to go to you and they're all going to be on your team. Like, and I'm letting Josh kind of run with you guys instead of me step in there, because Josh has been a part of Primerica before. He knows what to do. But if Josh didn't know what to do, it would be stupid of me, like literally suicide in the business of me, to not help Bree and Caleb and everybody else down there, regardless of what Josh's feelings are about me stepping in and doing that. Because you are the captain of your team and your ship, and you can't let some pirates come up in there and like steer the ship the wrong way, right? Like, your person that's 4 days into the business does not know how to grow the Primerica business. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not trying to be mean, but like, your recruit that's 2 weeks into the business doesn't know more than you do, and you've been here for a year. Okay. Now they might be better than you eventually. I'm not saying they are or they're not, but right now they're not licensed and their whole team isn't licensed either. And your job is to help all the unlicensed people get licensed. Is that fair? Are you all following me right now? If you are licensed and you have people under you that are not licensed, and there is nobody licensed between you and them, and you're not helping them get licensed, you're not helping them get the fast start, you're not helping them do the things that they need to do, you are dropping the ball, not their upline, not the one that recruited them. You are, because you are the licensed agent. Are you following me here? Some of y'all don't like to hear that, but that's just a fact. Like where am I finding 20 or 30,000 in personal premium every month? It's through a shit ton of recruiting, and then nobody's licensed, and I am calling all of those people and setting those appointments up. And we get 3 or 4 or 5 people that get district leader promotions in that leg. I got 25, 30,000 in personal premium through a whole bunch of people getting one by one or 2 by 2. Right. And then guess what, Bree? They've all seen it now. The ones that are going to stick are going to stick. And then now they're going to go recruit a bunch of people. You get to help them, and you continue to recruit directs. Where the ball is dropped is that imagine this, Kelly, imagine this, right? I recruited Kelly in December, and through Kelly, we did about 15 to 20,000 in personal premium. But through Kelly did like what, 4 or 5, and then Angie did like 3 or 4, and a couple other people did a little bit here and there. But if I stopped personally recruiting, I would have almost no personal premium this month. Why? Because Kelly's licensed. And I have to and Kelly, we've talked a little bit about this. Like, I have to kind of let Kelly go out and fall on her face a little bit to figure out the business, because if I don't, I'm doing her a disservice. Now, I'm here to help her, and we've talked, right? I'm helping you do what you can. But if I don't step back just a little bit and give her a little bit of control to help her kind of see what works and what doesn't, she's never going to know that she can do it. I think now, Kelly, after you've closed 3,000 in premium, you've done a little bit of personal recruiting, I think you're like, oh yeah, okay, I can do this. But for that month or so, you're like, oh crap, what do I do? Dan's not helping me as much. It's just like your kids. You got to give them space to go and mess up, right? You have to give them space to go and fall on their face and jump off the couch, even though you've told them 20 times not to, right? You have to give them the ability to go and mess up and see that, oh yeah, okay, I messed up too. And I think also, when Elian was here, Elian saw that how many times did I not close appointments? A lot, actually. But I'm just on so many appointments that you guys think I close everything I sit on. But it's not that I'm closing everything I sit on. It's that I have 7 times more appointments every day than you. Sometimes, like you have 2, I have 14. Who's going to close more business, you or me? It's just it's a math problem. Like if I have 14 attempts at bat, I'm going to hit a ball. If you only have 2 balls being thrown at you, you might not hit anything that day. It's just a fact. So hopefully that was helpful. I forget who even asked that. Or Elian did, but I guess what I'm saying is you run your team. Like you are the one that is responsible for the licensing on your team. You all should message Lynette, those of you that have teams and are currently life insurance licensed, and ask her, hey, what's my recruit to code ratio? What's my percentage? Y'all should shoot for like a 50%. If you're recruiting less than 5 people a month, you should get 60+% of those people licensed. If you recruit 5 people, 3 of them should be licensed by the end of the month. The only time I'm going to be like, oh yeah, if you only get a 20% recruit to code ratio is if you're doing like 15 recruits on your team a month or more. Outside of that, it should be just freaking raining life insurance licenses on your team.
Also, something to completely end culture-wise is we're not going to talk to each other. Like, don't talk to my team. If you have someone talking to you, go to the RDP and they'll do it.
Yeah. So Taylor just said one thing too, and like I don't think that we really have this issue a whole lot, but but just in general, if you're trying to coach, so like I'm just going to keep using Josh and Bree as an example, just because I can see both of you guys. So like
You're good. Hit me.
Bree, if Josh, if you're like reaching out to like Renee, right, on Bree's team, and Bree's like, hey, don't talk to my team, like you need to tell me, because I will course correct that, because that's bad coaching from someone who is lower in the base shop. Right now, at the end of the day, y'all are doing your own thing. But like if Bree's like, Bree, if you're putting up, which you're not, so let me be very clear, Bree is not doing this. But like if Bree's putting a freaking wall of defense, like no one talk to my people, like that's not fair for her people. That's not fair for the people that you're recruiting, to shut them off from coaching from other people that might have a different perspective that can help them move quicker. And again, Bree is not doing this. Bree, you're doing amazing. Like I told you yesterday, I'm super proud of you. So I just want to be very clear to all of you listening. Bree is not doing this, but I'm just using that example right now. So like if Josh, in that scenario, if it's happening, if Bree's like, don't talk to my people, don't talk, like, let me know and we'll get on a call, the 3 of us together, and we'll just kind of talk it out. And Bree might have valid concerns that she's not comfortable sharing with just Josh, potentially, right? And so that's we got to get that solved by, like, you got to kind of get dad involved, right? Or get mom involved if you want to call Taylor. Like, I'm serious. Like, sometimes you do, though. Sometimes you just need to get that outside opinion where, you know, Bree might be thinking like, hey, I'm just trying to help my people and I don't want them to have too much going on. But Josh is just there to like help him get licensed, and Bree's like, chill out. And it's not happening. But if that does happen, like that needs to stop right away. Like if you're new in the business, which I know a lot of you guys watch the replays of this, like if you're newer, like your coach, your upline is not reaching out to you, your team, to like undermine you. They're reaching out to help. Like we're not, this culture that we have built is not a culture of like, take your people and steal all your sales. Like it's a culture of like helping your people get moving, and you're going to get split on things. Worst case scenario, you're going to make some money. Right. So, all right, Tammy, what's up?
Oops, sorry. Okay. So I'm just curious. I just want to make sure that I'm not imposing on you. So like when I run across people, like I've been doing, is, like when I text them, I add you to it. Is that okay?
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, as long as if they respond, that's great. If they don't respond, it's not imposing at all. So, yeah, no, not at all. What I would do is get the number and like, so you're prospecting people, obviously. Are you like, hey, my son runs a business. Like, how are you getting their information? What are you saying to them? Typically, you're muted.
So like the young lady that I texted you yesterday, you know, she's a housekeeper, and okay. I just asked her, "Are you happy, you know, doing what you're doing?" And she's like, "Oh no, I'm already looking for a new job." And I was like, "Okay, so are you interested in making some extra money?" And she says, "Yes." I said, "Okay, so let me get your number, and then I'm gonna text you right now, and then I'm gonna add my son in the text message so that you know that, I'm not just adding random people in this message, and then, we'll get back, you text me and let me know when's a good time to get with you.
Yeah, so everybody type in the Zoom chat real quick. I'm in control. You are in control of that conversation. And Tammy, when you, and I'm not saying you necessarily did it wrong, but I personally would have said, hey, give me your number. I'll reach out to you, or I'll have my son reach out to you, or I'll have my, the regional vice president or whatever reach out to you. And we'll see if it's a good fit, see if there's a mutual interest in working together. Because if you say like, hey, just tell me when you're ready, or see if it's a good fit for you, like it makes it seem like you need them a little bit more than like, hey, we'll see if it's a good fit. No promises. That was one of the things I really liked about what somebody was saying on Tuesday was, hey, no promises, or 2 weeks ago, no promises, but we'll just see if there's a mutual interest. And I actually, yesterday, at the gym, Tammy, maybe this will help. I see this guy almost every day at the gym. And when we left, I asked Taylor, or I told Taylor what I said to him. I was talking to him. He does insurance, underwriting, and a little bit of sales for like high-end P&C for cars. Yeah, I was like, how do you like it? He's like, well, it's good. He's like, I like it. I was like, what's the pay like, if you don't mind me asking? Is it like decent? You making enough? He's like, it's like mid 60s, not bad. I was like, what would it take for you to double your income? And he just looked at me. He was like, what? like, and I was like, yeah, what would it take for you to double your income? He's like, a lot more work. I was like, if we could double your income in less time, would you be open to it? And he said, yeah. So I got his number. He's coming on Tuesday night to the op meeting. But the reason I would say, like, I like that phrase of question was, they're going to be curious. Right. So Tammy, like, you don't got to say that necessarily, but keep the ball in your court. Don't give them a whole lot of information, and don't tell them, hey, text me when you're ready.
Andy, social media coaching said something like that. Like,
yeah.
Well, actually, what I said was, text me a good time. So I probably said that wrong initially. I said, text me a good time.
Yeah, I would just I told the guy the same thing yesterday. I was like, hey, text me when you have some availability. Guess what? He didn't respond. So I called him, and like I called him an hour and a half later and was like, hey, what are you doing Tuesday night? Nothing. Great. Let's come to the opportunity meeting. So I just, again, not that you did anything wrong. I just, when you're getting the number, just say, hey, we'll reach out to you within the next 24 to 48 hours. And I'm going to text you with my son, so you have his number also. And just kind of like say, like, show that you're still in control. Hey, if it makes sense, we'll reach out to you. We'll see if it's a good fit. Hopefully that helps, Tammy. We got time for one more question, guys, and then we'll be done for the day. One more question. Anybody at all? No one has any questions? This is amazing. All right, hey, it is month-end madness, y'all. Over the weekend, I think just about everybody on here has a promotion they're fighting for, they're working towards. So we should see some crazy production happening over the next couple of days. Cassie, what's up? You got a question?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, we've talked about this before, but can you, maybe for everybody else, like, go over exactly what you would say when you're calling your people about month end, and like to get a good push for that?
Yeah. First off, yeah, that's a good question. First of all, I would go to my recruit manager and I would look at the fast start bonus and I would see what people have. So write down recruit manager and then click on their name, and it's going to show you their fast start bonus. So one thing you could do is take a picture of what they see, which you can see, and take a screenshot and send it to them. Say, hey, you have 3 recruits, $600 in premium, $2,400 in premium gets you $600. Who can we talk to today to get some premium going? Or who can we talk to this weekend, tomorrow or Sunday? Like, and hey, I know you said your mom, your grandma, your dog, your cat, whatever, like, and help them remember the people that, because they don't know. Like, you got to teach them to hunt. Right? It's kind of like the whole teach them to fish type of thing, right? Like, would you rather give them a fish or teach them to fish? Like, if I can give them a fish, I will, but I'm going to teach them to fish before I just give them fish. Right? So you got to make sure you're teaching them while you're helping them. So that's the first thing, is like, send them a screenshot of their bonus. This is where you're at. Like, and just help them see that. But I would call everyone and say, hey, look, like, we, as a team, we need another 8 recruits and we need another, 20,000 in premium. Like, we're counting on you. Like, I believe in you. You're a stud. Like, we're going to make it happen. Who can we sit with this weekend to move that needle? Like, I know I can count on you for one closed piece of business. What is that? Are we getting a recruit or are we getting a life app? Who are we meeting with? And you just like every one of your people is on the hook for one thing. Dude, we recruited 50 people this month, or well, actually, it is 50 bodies. We're at 42 recruits on the scoreboard, though. Like, if all of those 42 people got just 2 people, that's 82 new recruits. No, 84, excuse me, recruits next month. Sorry, I went to Holt. Don't judge me, Larissa. Okay. So we have 84 recruits, new recruits, and if we get all of those people 2 life apps, put in the Zoom chat, how much freaking premium? With 84 people and 2 life apps apiece, how much premium is that in the base shop? I'll give you a hint. 84 times 2 times 1,000. Or plus 1,000. No, times 1,000. I don't know. I just dropped out of math class. I vividly remember not going to my 8 a.m. college math class, so I'm sorry. So it's $168,000 in premium. Y'all are licensed. Y'all are going to make 5, 10, 15 grand in premium. Dude, like, that's where it happens. Like, you got to help your people get a couple recruits, and then you leverage the recruits to get them the bonus, right? I mean, Kelly did a great job with this with Angie, right? Like, Angie had 5 recruits and $2,700 in premium, and she needed a little tiny life app. And so, Kelly, what happened? What'd you do? You wrote a policy on her son. It was a little $300-400 policy, nothing crazy. But there's premium there. And so you leverage the bonus to get your people to move. Right? Like, you leverage your like, that's all the licensing call yesterday was about. Leverage the fast start bonus and get them licensed. Get everybody 3x3, get them a license. 3x3 license, 3x3 license, 3x3 license. You're going to have $600 bonuses just falling from the sky with licensed agents. And you're going to have so freaking many people that you don't know what to do. And then you're going to have the question that Josh asked is like, how do we follow the system? You plug them into the system and you say, this is what works. Don't deviate from this. And you control your meeting attendance. You are freaking maniacal about getting your people on the calls on Tuesday nights, on Saturdays, on Sundays. Guys, we should have 100 people on Sunday Night Skills every week. Like, you should get a 90-day commitment from all of your new people. I tell them this on the orientation, but I'm just some guy on a call. They don't know, like, you understand that our base shop's big enough now that unless I recruit them, they don't know me from Peter Schneider, the freaking president of the company. I'm serious. Like, they don't. They don't. To me, I'm like the guy in the sky that's behind the curtain. Like, you are the one that's helping them. You have, a lot of you guys are laughing, but I'm serious. Like, you got to understand, they're layers away from me at this point. That's a good problem. You are the one that's selling the dream and the vision. You got to get that 90-day commitment from your people on the orientation. After the orientation, you call them. Before the orientation, you call them. Hey, I'm so excited for your orientation. Look, I want a 90-day commitment from you. We're going to be on meetings. We're going to be on trainings. You're going to give me everything you can for 90 days, 5 hours, 50 hours. I don't care. But 90-day commitment that we're going to make this happen. And then after the orientation, you get with them and get a list, and you sell them on that commitment again, and sell them on the vision of, hey, Dan showed you what he made in the first 90 days. How much are you going to make? What's your goal? What do you want to make in the next 90 days? Is it a couple hundred? Is it a couple thousand? What is your goal? And you just leverage the shit out of the bonus, guys. Like, that's the secret. That's the secret. Hopefully that helps, Cassie. But you guys, you have to be convicted that you can do it, right? Some of you guys have a belief problem right now. You're not where you want to be financially. You're not where you want to be with your business. And you're like, I don't know if it's going to work. And maybe you're not saying that to me, but you're thinking it. It's going to work. You got to keep doing it. You don't get to do it for 2 weeks or a week or a day and it worked. You got to do it for 90 days, 120 days. Consistency. That's what makes it happen, right? Like, Larissa, you've been setting 2 or 3 appointments a day. Super proud of you. But it doesn't, like, 1 week of that, we've recruited 1 person, right? But it would be really easy for you to be like, oh, it doesn't work. Well, it's not that it doesn't work. It's that it's only been 6 days, right? Like, and it's working. You got to recruit. You want to recruit more people, set more appointments. It's just a math problem. You just got to keep it going and get enough people coming at once that you get critical mass of people to keep growing, guys. So, okay, in a minute, go to mom and don't put your hockey stick down so you don't break anything. All right, guys. I love you guys. Have an amazing weekend. If you need me, call me, no matter where you are, no matter how far.